Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Investor Army podcast today. I have a question for you out there in the audience. How's it going in your real estate business in 2017? Are you doing enough deals? Are you setting big enough goals? What about a deal a day? Because our next guest, that's what they've been doing. What would you do to get those deals, right? Well, they put in 150,000 offers in 2016 to do that. Do you think you can do that? Well, we have a guest today that's absolutely going to blow your mind. He's a friend of mine, Tom Olson, right? He's out of Indiana, and he and his partner, Wayne Sheaffer, created a number of companies. They're strong entrepreneurs, right? So they have a lot of different stuff going on. So let me kind of run through what you can expect to hear today. They've got a company called Good Success, where they have their Good Success belief events and a Good Success podcast. If you haven't heard of it, go check it out. It's absolutely awesome. They also have their company House Smart, where they bought and sold over 300 houses last year. Their Midwest Rental Solutions company, where they keep all their own properties internally, doing lease op or rent to own properties as well as just traditional rental properties. And then they have their Olson Property Service Management company, where they're doing renovations on properties for investors in their area. So I have a great guest today, guys, and I want to introduce you to Tom Olson.
Hey, Connor, how you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Tom, I'm doing good. I'm glad you could make it. I know it's early there, and you're out there by Mickey Mouse right now. I appreciate you giving us the time today to come on here and talk to us a little bit.
Yeah, we're here with my family, and we always do this every time we go on vacation. So I take one day in the middle, and we don't really go out and do anything. We take a day so we can kind of catch up and just look at work things. I'll probably work about a half a day today on purpose. Yeah. And sometimes that's what it takes, but I actually like it. So I love my work, and sometimes it's hard for me to get away. So this kind of helps me get away a little bit in the middle of the week.
Yeah. So guys, if y'all don't know who Tom Olson is, he runs one of the largest wholesale companies in the entire country, right? And they're always doing something, always shaking and moving. And you're going to learn a lot from him today. And they have a couple unique business models that they do. And what I really like about their company is they have everything in kind of a cyclical pattern where they all kind of correlate and relate to each other. So they've got their rental business, their construction business, their wholesaling business, and then their education business. And he's going to tell you a little bit about that today. So Tom, go ahead and tell people kind of about your company, right? So you have a number of employees. You have a big office there. I went up there a few months ago and saw how the operation worked. I thought it was absolutely awesome. You had these really, really badass Hummers out front with your brand on them. I was like, I got to get one of those, right? And but you really seem to have your systems put together, which is what's I think so impressive about what you're all doing up there.
Yeah, I mean, this all started about 5-6 years ago, where we really just started wholesaling, and that's all we were doing. We were just doing a lot of HUD deals. There's a lot of HUD inventory at the time, and we could pretty much just go on there and bid and get houses accepted and double close them. And I think our first year we did about 47 deals. Second year went about doubled that, and then like 92-ish type of deals that year, all wholesale, not really closing on a whole lot of houses, but making good money, and it was great. Things are obviously a little bit different now, and you know, you've got to be able to offer value in order to continue to do business. And I think that's something that you talk about a lot, Connor, but for me, it's paramount. So, I mean, my construction business, our whole motto is providing services that add value to others.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to do anything. I don't ever want to take more than what I'm giving in value. So never charge more in price than what you're giving in value. So if you're a wholesaler, I'm not sure who your audience is, but I think a lot of them are wholesalers. But if you are a wholesaler, you know, keep that in mind. If you charge too much for a property, the next time you send that person a deal, I mean, they're just going to kind of shake their head and be like, oh, this guy again, you know, or, yeah. So be careful. Make sure, you know, when you send people comparables, that they are actual comparables. Make sure that you're not just saying it's $6,000 or $10,000 on repairs when it's really 30 or 40. Yeah. You know, make sure you know your stuff. So there's a lot of gaps that you're going to go through when you're growing, and we teach those at our belief events. We kind of teach the gaps that we've gone through, and it seems like it never ends, because you're always in some kind of gap. You know, you're always like, you know, either you're making money, or you need people, or you have enough people, but you're not making as much money as you want to make. And, as far as profitability goes, but there's always these growth gaps that you have in your business. One is the assumption gap where you just kind of think things are going to happen. You don't realize that you have to be intentional about what you do every single day. Some of it's a knowledge gap. There's this gap that you just don't know what you don't know, and you're kind of in this, you have to learn. So a lot of times that's where people start. And you listen to podcasts, you read books, you go hang around other people, but you just kind of know, again, you don't know what you don't know. It's so funny to me sometimes in my office, I'll have newer employees come up and ask me questions, and I just think to myself, I can't believe they don't know this. But then I remember I didn't know that at one point, like title issues or just anything that can be the case. And sometimes I just, forget that. Sometimes it's a timing gap, like right now we're in a different market than we were in 4 or 5 years ago. Right. So, I think that's something that can definitely be something, but be careful with this as well. Like, don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. That whole mindset of I'll do it tomorrow, that's just not going to work. You're not going to get the growth that you want with that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
The fear of making mistakes. A lot of people get stopped by that. I'm going to make mistakes. Well, yeah, you're going to make mistakes, but just roll with it. Just fail as fast as you possibly can and get back up and keep going. And, some people have the perfection gap, where they think everything has to be perfect before they can start. And that's not going to work either. You're just not going to work. The inspiration gap. This is something where people they look and seek for inspiration from people and from other people to give them inspiration. And that's not how you get inspiration. You actually get inspiration by going and doing something. You don't feel like it, just do it. Actually, one of the things I love about Nike, they just say, just do it. And that's actually totally true. You will not be inspired to go work out until you go work out, right? You work out, right, Connor? So the more you work out, the more you're inspired to want to work out. The more you eat healthy, the more you're inspired to eat healthy. The more you do deals, the more you're going to be inspired to do more deals. And then, there's a couple more. The comparison gap. This is just head trash. Most of the time, this is just, we spend so much time comparing what we have to others and what we do to others. And that's the one thing I would encourage you guys not to do. Yes, we did 300 deals. Yes, we're doing great. We're making a lot of money. We have an awesome business. I'd love for you guys to come see me at one of our Belief events and, see how we do what we did and see how we do what we do. Last year, we actually had a span of time where we actually did 100 deals in 100 days. So I thought that was really awesome.
That's amazing.
And, I'm not going to spend this whole time just trying to sell you guys to come see me. I really do want to be a value to you guys and teach you guys something, but be careful about that comparison gap. The time you spend comparing what you don't have and comparing what you have to somebody else's time that you just wasted in not getting for yourself what you want to have, or not being able to have so you can give to others, which is what we're all about. The expectation gap, a lot of times people think it's going to be easy. It's not. Just face it. Yeah. Don't have expectations that are reasonable, but also give expectations that are reasonable. When you are selling something, the last thing your potential wholesale buyer or seller wants to hear is expectations that are unreasonable. The more you're reasonable with people, the more that you're just honest and genuine with them, it'll come out. So, have the proper attitude. And I think anybody can do this business. I love real estate myself. I don't think it's for everybody, just going to be flat honest with you, but I do think a lot of people can make a lot of money in real estate. Couple things about our business. Our core values, I think, are something that you need to also be very mindful of. Have those core values. And if, Connor, you came to see us, you'll see those plastered all over our walls. So Our core values are number one, belief. We don't ever want to do anything, say anything, have anybody that works for us that we don't believe in. We think that's the first step of success, and that's belief. If you don't believe in it, don't do it. If you don't believe in a house, I wouldn't sell it. I wouldn't buy it. Don't do anything that you don't believe in, and that'll help you not feel like you're going to a job. every day that'll help you feel like, job is, your work is what you love. And that's what I love about my job is I love what I do. I think I provide a ton of value to people, and I help a lot of people with their financial freedom plans. I help a lot of people get to that point where they can retire, or they can have financial freedom, and they can kind of do whatever they want, whenever they want, with whoever they want. And that's what I love about our active turnkey program that we might talk about today a little bit.
Yep.
So belief is number one, hard work number two. You're not going to get anywhere without hard work. And if you're trying to do, I've actually heard people get up and say, I'm trying to be more lazy, and I'm sorry. I don't care if it's hard work with your head. Sometimes the hardest thinking is with your head and thinking, and that is hard work. That's not being lazy. That is being intentional and being working hard. But the people that they actually have a desire to be lazy, I don't think you're ever going to get anywhere. And then number three. So you got belief, hard work, integrity, and being genuine and being honest, doing what you say you're going to do, making sure that deal works out for that person. That's integrity. Customer service is integrity. Making sure that you follow that lead all the way through, making sure that you do what you say you're going to do to that seller when you're buying a house, and do what you say you're going to do to that buyer, and try to make sure that deal works out for us. For us, it's very hard for my active turnkey program to have integrity. It really is. It's a really hard thing. So my active turnkey is the whole concept of you buy a house cash, you rehab it, you rent it out, and we do rent to owns, and then you refinance, and then you repeat. So I send people pro formas, and I say, hey, if you buy this house for say $50,000 and you put $25,000 worth of repairs into it, according to the comps that I have right now, this house should appraise for $100,000 after you buy it and fix it up. Yeah. Right? Okay. And right now the banks are refinancing at 75%. So my goal for all my active turnkey buyers is for them to be all into the property about 75%, so they can refinance that property and pull out as much of that money as possible. And I'm totally upfront with them and transparent. I tell them, hey, so I set the expectations like I talked about. I say, you're going to buy this house for say 50, you're going to put 25 in repairs into it. Now the comps say it should be worth $100,000, but sometimes it's possible that those repairs are going to go over 25, right? And sometimes it's possible. I mean, if anybody's ever done construction, that's just a fact almost. It's almost going to happen on every single job. And to be honest with you, we still have 20 to 30% that don't go over. And I think that's actually good to have 20 to 30% of projects that don't go over. But that just has to do with our team and the fact that we've done 400 rehabs. And we've been doing this for a long time. But then you kind of have those, 20, 30% ones that just kind of go over a couple $100 or $1,000. And then you have those other 30% or so that go over 2, 3, 4, 5,000. Then you have those like crazy, 2%ers that are just something completely out of the woods. We actually just had one where we had to replace a sewer line 20 feet deep in sand. And that takes special equipment. It takes, the city to be, it takes these covers that have to go into the ground to keep the sand from falling in and crushing people that deep. And $20,000 repair later, and that could happen. I mean, when you're buying a wholesale deal, you're getting it as is, where is. Yeah. I also tell the people that, hey, you just bought this house for 50 and you're putting 25 into it. Yeah, that's all great, but some appraisers aren't going to think it's worth $100,000. I mean, how many of you got your own house appraised and your own house didn't appraise for what you thought it would appraise for when you're doing a cash out refi? Yeah. Number one, the banks don't really like to do cash out refi. And number two, that appraiser is going to see you just bought this house 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. And what makes you think it's all of a sudden jumped $50,000 worth of repairs just because you put jumped $50,000 in price or value because you put $25,000 worth of repairs into it. So, yeah. And I'll be honest with you, it works many times. So I would say out of the 80 deals we did last year, we had about 12 to 14 houses that are appraised low, and some of them appraised as low as $10,000 or $15,000 too low. And we've had about 8 or 9 that appraised high, and we've had some appraised $10,000 to $15,000 too high. And the rest of them were right in that range, right within that $5,000 of what we said they were going to appraise for. So I was very happy with and all that though. All that is to say, integrity in that system is, did it work out for the investor? So for me, I'm very focused on, do my numbers end up working, and what do I need to do the next time to make it better for that investor to be able to be more. So we kind of made our numbers a little bit more conservative from when we started. So we used to say our property was worth 110, and now we might be saying it's worth 105. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of lowered those numbers and lowered those expectations to try to, because I'm very concerned about integrity. And then our last core value is go give. And this is really what we're all about. I don't want to have so I can just have a pile of money at the end of the day. I want to have so I can give to others. And I want to be a conduit, not a bucket. I want to be a river, not the Dead Sea. If you learn about the Dead Sea over in the Bible times, and it's still alive today. I mean, the Dead Sea is still the Dead Sea. There's literal plant life that dies because the water doesn't move. But if you go to the Sea of Galilee, and it's like a river, there's just plenty of commerce, and there's just plenty of life. And that's the same way it is in life too. So if you're that person that's like a river and the water's flowing through you get money so you can give. You don't just get money so you can just have this pile of gold at the end of your life. Life just happens around you. You get to be able to help people. And it's also amazing that the more you give, the more God will give to you. So I want to be somebody that God will entrust to be able to give through me, not give to me. I'm never looking for a handout from God. I don't ever want to feel entitled. I want to always just be a blessing and a conduit to others. So that's really what we're all about. And you know, yeah, I could talk about the nitty gritty about how to get a deal and how to get a house under contract. But for me, the most important thing is that whole mindset of why you do what you do. And that's why we do what we do. And I hope that maybe helped somebody today. Like Connor said, we do have a podcast. I'd love for you guys to check us out at Good Success Podcast. We actually talk about active turnkey, and so that's Active Turnkey Tuesdays. We also have Book Review Fridays. So I know a lot of you guys like to listen to books or read books, but we actually do a review on a book every week. We do Marketing Mondays, and we do Successful Saturdays. So those are kind of just ones that we've thrown out there. And I bet you, I know we have over 100 podcasts already on there now. So if you check us out there. Also, our belief retreats, I'd love to invite anybody that'd like to come see us. Now this is 2 days of just us. This is if you want to learn what we do, how we've gotten exactly where we are, you can come out and see us. I think our next event is June 7th and 9th, 7th through 9th. So it's actually 2 days, and there's a bonus day on the third day. The bonus day, you can go on like a specific track. If you just want to learn active turnkey, if you just want to learn business and systems automation. And I know we mix up the other ones. So sometimes it's finance, sometimes it's acquisitions only on that day. It kind of just depends on what people are needing on that third day. But the first 2 days, you get to listen to every single person that's in our office. I should say every single person. So number one, it's in our office, which is really cool because you get to actually see work happening behind you. Number two, everybody that's a leader on our team. So our finance department, our sales manager, our acquisitions manager, our process person, our marketing people, everybody gets, you get to hear from them to me, it was all about creating something that you could walk away from and believe that you could do it too. Yeah. And I'll tell you, Connor, this is the exact way we learned. I'm not trying to teach or preach something that we didn't do ourselves. We went around the country and we went to different companies that were larger than ours. And I bet you we went to 10 different places exactly like this and spent the whole day with them and just, went top to bottom and said, what about this? And what about that? And it's also really cool just to walk through somebody else's office and just see what the different departments look like and to kind of just start putting that together for yourself. So that's really what I want those belief events to help people with, is to help them believe and get that first step. You know, what we said our core values, our very first core value was belief. That's what I'm trying to help people with this belief event. Believe that you can do it too. And, you know, you did talk to me a little bit about our mastermind. That's for people that are doing deals now. We want to see people that are doing at least 10, 15 deals a year now that want to scale that up to 50, 100, 500, whatever you want to scale it up to, that's fine. But we kind of want that group of people. It is a little bit more expensive an event. It's free for the first mastermind, but after that, you know, it's $15,000 a year. So it's only for serious people. I spend well over $100,000 a year on my education, and I think it's been worth every penny of it. Love for you guys to check us out at goodsuccess.com. And any other questions that maybe I can help you with, Connor, or any other things you had on your list of things to go over?
No, I mean, you just went over a ton of stuff. I think that's absolutely awesome, guys. This is why everybody thinks Tom's so impressive, right? So he touched on a lot of different things there, right? And I think it's really important that you go up there to one of those events so you can see what they're doing, because sometimes it's about seeing it and then realizing you can do it, right? So a lot of y'all, it's harder to figure out how to do something on your own than going up there and just seeing it happen. He talked a lot on the power of just doing what you say you're going to do, doing the right thing. Guys, you don't want to wake up at 80 years old and look back and regret how you ran your life or how you ran your business. And just on a success side, on the retention rate, it's a win-win situation for everybody. So don't be trying to always feel like you're taking the strong side of the transaction, because you're not going to keep any of your clients, which is why he's so focused on doing what he says he's going to do with his turnkey individuals. Because if he tells them it's going to finance out at X rate and then it does, and they get all their money back, what are they going to do? Well, they can come back to him to do another deal and another deal. And so he can help them build a portfolio that's going to create generational wealth for them and their family. And it helps him with his business as well. So have a cyclical business. Another thing I thought that was really important that you touched on was people planning too much. There's a lot of professional planners and nobody's taking action. So you got to just go out there and launch first and then correct later, instead of just sitting there trying to make everything perfect. But guys, he's got a ton of stuff that he can help you with as far as running your business, creating systems, learning how to deal with contractors. I think it's an absolutely awesome opportunity that he's giving everybody in the country to go up there and take a look. So Tom, I know you're a big reader. I know you like the books like Traction and Rocket Fuel. What's something you're reading right now, or any good books that have come out? Because I know you're kind of on the leading edge of that, and I'm sure you have a couple good suggestions for people out there.
Oh, I've got some awesome books. So, I'm rereading The Speed of Trust. So that's probably the second or third time I've read The Speed of Trust. I definitely recommend that book. Deep Work is another book I read probably about 3 or 4 months ago. I actually just read on the plane ride here a book called God and Money, which if you guys are a giver out there, and if you want to learn how to if kind of what I was talking about today, to me that it basically talks about what the Bible says about giving and about money, and I think that was really cool. I'll also say, I think I've actually got it right here. This is another really good book when it comes to that. And I know this is religious, so I do apologize, but Gospel Patrons right here. It's not a very popular book, but it basically talks about every single major revival that's ever happened, and since Jesus, honestly, it had to be done with somebody with money on one hand and the person willing to be that frontliner. And that's who I am. That's who I want to be. In the story of Jesus, it was the three women that was with him that actually funded his whole ministry. It was kind of cool. Paul and Barnabas. It was Barnabas that had to sell everything off to be for Paul to be able to do what he did. And all through history, you'll find people that had that same passion and that same feeling. And that's who I am. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to. There's 2 things I want to do in life. Number 1, I want to be able to give away $1 billion. And number 2, I want to flip the city of Gary. So the city of Gary is like one of the worst cities in the country. Not really crime. It's not. It's just there's just nobody there. It's a ghost town almost. It's almost sad that there's just nobody there. But it's so geographically awesomely located, right by Chicago. It has the airport. Has railroads. It has highways going in and out of it. It's got Lake Michigan on one side of it. It's just a really great city, I think. It's close to so much of a part of the country. And to me, it's always going to take money to do that. And it's always going to take people that are focused on that giving aspect of that. If you're talking about some business books, I love The Go-Giver. If you haven't read that, I would read that. Becoming a Category of One, I just read that about 3 or 4 months ago. The Compound Effect, man, that talks about the daily disciplines. Yeah. And then just one more I'll give, which I think this is one I've read 4 times in the last 6 months because I like it so much. The 15 Infutable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. Yeah. And I could give you more and more, but if you want. But yes, I try to read at least an hour a day, and try to keep me on myself on the cutting edge of keeping myself in line too.
Well, guys, what I think is really important to take away from this call is, we brought Tom on. He's one of the biggest investors in the country. They're doing hundreds of deals a year. And as a new investor, you would assume that he would get on here and talk about the day-to-day, marketing for deals and finding buyers. But what did he go through? He explained to you the other side of the business, the mindset side of the business, the belief side of the business, the work ethic side of the business, which is more important than the actual how do we find deals. Because once you get this part of your life and your part of that part of your business going and together, the other will just follow. And he talked about tithing, which I believe is really important. And when it comes to tithing, guys, you don't want to be giving, selfishly giving because you're expecting to return back. You want to give out of the goodness of your heart and just do it for the right reason. And then the results will just come naturally, right? So I think it's really important that with your core beliefs, like he's talking about, and your belief system, your why, and your culture around your office, to just do everything the way you say you're going to do it, and you're just going to grow by word of mouth. That's basically what it comes down to. Is that if you can look yourself in the eye, other people will want to work with you, and you'll grow a stronger business for doing that. I know you've got all your good success stuff. So what are you going anywhere else? I know you got like 1 billion companies. Are you looking at doing anything else, or are you kind of just focused on what's your main focus right now?
Right now, the biggest thing that we're building this year is the whole Good Success brand. That is definitely something that we're working on. I'm also working with Walter on the Financial Friends Network as well. So I'm not sure if you talk about that much at all, but I love being a part of that group. Yeah. So we go on at least 2 cruises a year. Connor, you've been a part of almost every one the last couple of times too as well. But me and Walter's really hit it off on that whole thing, and I love being a part of that group as well. So that's another great group if you're looking for deal flow, if you're looking for knowledge. And David Phelps taught me that your network is your net worth, and I think that's very, very true. Go out and find individuals, hang around the people that you want to be around, be like. You go out and hang around those people that you want to be like, and eventually a lot of that stuff is just going to rub off on you. And it's so true, right, Connor?
Yeah. So like what he's talking about, guys. So Walter Wolford and Quincy Long created a group called the Financial Friends Network, and it's a networking group, but they meet around the world. So we've been to Jamaica, the Bahamas. It's actually where Tom and I met originally, and to be able to get on a boat with other individuals that are in the business, and go share that type of interaction, it builds a little deeper relationship. Plus, you're working with people all around the country in different markets, so they're going to be more free to share what they're doing and help you. And there's no selfish individuals on that boat. Everybody's very open about trying to help each other. Whereas if you go to your local meetup group or your REI club, who you're sitting in a room with, right? Your competitors, and they may not want to share what they're doing because it may not be beneficial to themselves. So if y'all haven't checked out the Financial Friends Network, go ahead and check that out. And Tom, if there's anything else you want to talk about, or as far as your Good Success Belief event, when's the next one that you want people to know that's coming? Or
yeah, I know the next one's I think is June 10th through the 12th. You can go to goodsuccess.com and find us there. And if you ever want to just get in touch with me for some reason, my email is tolson, that's OLSON at goodsuccess.com. So tolson at goodsuccess.com. And if you want to share that'd be totally fine. If anybody just wants to get in touch with me, wants to learn more about our Active Turnkey program, you can also go to activeturnkey.com. My construction my construction management company is olsonpropertyservices.com. Again, that's OLSON propertyservices.com. And you guys can check us out at any of those places. And I'd love to hear what you guys think. And if you guys want to have anything else for me, anything I can do to help you guys, just let me know.
Yeah, guys. So you probably want to go back and listen to this multiple times and kind of download that information, because we learn by repetition, right? But take it, just pause for a second and think about what he's offering you guys right now. Because how often do you get the opportunity to go stand inside the doors of of a competitor of yours or a company around the country, right? That's doing hundreds of deals, which is what you're probably aspiring to do, right? So this isn't just like this is pretty unique what he's doing. Not many companies are just going to let you come inside their office and see how they run their systems, how the different types of employees they have. I think it's absolutely amazing that you're doing that. And you're giving back to the community. And guys, if you're not taking advantage of something like this, I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you, but I think it's a great opportunity. So Tom, I appreciate you coming on here. I know you're a busy man, and have fun there at Disney World. And I'll see you here probably in a few months. I think I'm actually coming up to that event, believe it or not, with Fabian. So I'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Fabian's coming to one of our events here in a little bit. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll be staying at my house. I gave him my house for a couple of days too. I have an Airbnb, like short-term rental. Awesome.
See, that's just the type of guy Tom is, guys. He's going to let us stay at his own house, right? So,
well, not my house, but it is my house. Just not the one I'm living in.
One of his houses.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, that was awesome. I appreciate you coming on here, and I will see you here in a few weeks.
Awesome. Have a great day.